Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's market update is for the week ending Friday the 19th of October 2012. Today's update we're going to be checking out the smp500 firstly, and we're going to take a look then at the asx200. But before we do that guys, I've just got to remind everyone that aussiecharttrends.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. Okay guys, so looking at the S&P 500 firstly, on the daily chart here, going back to around February here, we can see that we had a head and shoulders topping formation over here. Now what is a head and shoulders topping formation for those that don't know? Well, it's where we have a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder form. And as you can see, I've drawn this yellow neckline underneath the left shoulder and underneath the right shoulder there. Now after the market broke through this area, what we did then is we measured the depth of the highest part of this pattern, and then we add this onto where the market broke down. We can see that the market had a minimum expected target of around the 1295 area. The S&P 500 completed that target, and now we've rallied on back up. It looks as if we're at a similar crossroad in the markets. Going back to this pattern over here, you can see I've drawn this yellow line underneath these bottoms here. This signals a little triple top formation. It's where we've got three peaks. Now over here, we have three peaks. On Friday's trade, we didn't quite get up to this yellow area. We could be looking at a triple top formation, and we could also be looking at a larger head and shoulders topping formation. But for now, let's just have a look and see what happened during this week on the hourly chart. As we can see, this week was a fairly volatile week. We went up, then we went down, then we went up, and then we went back down. But we closed just within this red support area. Now, I would say, guys, if we come down and break this yellow line that I've got drawn on the chart here, we should come down and retest, I would say, this red line down here, or this other red line that we've got drawn here. With this pattern, what we do is we measure the depth of the first reactive move down, and we just add that on to wherever the market has broken down from this red support line. Now you can see that we should find an area of support here around that 1388 area, and we may get a bounce there, and this line may save the market as well. And like I said before, we may be looking at a left shoulder over here, a head forming, and we may get that rally up for a right shoulder. But let's just see what happens with the S&P 500, because now we're still defined between this red line here and this top red line here. It is possible that the S&P 500 could rally on up and take this red line out still. And if we do get that push to the upside, well, we could get back into our larger channel and head on up into the 1500s. But I think, guys, if you were to ask me right now, this looks fairly bearish, and it will take a bit of time to play out if it is going to be a head and shoulders topping formation. And if it is a triple top and we do come down, well, we could most likely see the S&P 500 in the coming weeks come down to this 1400 area and find support there. So we're just going to keep that in mind with the asx200, that if this red line breaks next week sometime, well, we could see a move down from the 1430 area down to the 1400 area, or even a little bit lower there around the 1388 area. So we could be looking at a bit of a sell-off in the S&P 500 early next week. We may just see that move down to that 1400 area. Now, I would be looking at around that 1425 area, 1423 area to break, and then we should have a confirmed move down to our next level of support. So guys, that fairly much wraps up the S&P 500. Let's take a look now at the asx200 and just see what we can expect from that market in the coming week. Here on the daily chart, we can clearly see that the asx200 is definitely on fire, and this market wants just to keep on going up. Our market is very healthy, and we are technically in a bull market. Now, the reason why I say that we're in a bull market is because this lower blue line here goes all the way back to our highs of 2007. Now this blue line served as overhead resistance a number of times. Also, we've got this other blue line here, which is our 2008 highs. And just 4 trading days ago, we were able to get over this area also. And I was saying in last week's review that we were able to come up in this rising wedge pattern for a set amount of time, come back down, we back tested some nice areas there of support, then we came up, got over our 2007 highs, came back down for a nice back test. Now we've just cracked over the 2008 highs and we haven't had a back test yet. So maybe with the asx200 we need to come down and back test on this area here. Now it wouldn't surprise me if the asx200 did have a minor sell-off and that we would probably most likely get a nice area of support on this blue line. I've had this line drawn on the chart now for some time, going all the way back to November of 2011. You can see there's 3 clear tags on this area, and then once the market broke out of this pattern, we then had a sell-off. However, we've rallied on up, and now we've just tagged last week. We've come in within a point or two of our area of resistance here. Now I don't know whether my line is a little bit squiggly or not. We may have tagged on that area exactly, but you get the overall picture that we've actually had these areas here of support in the past, and now we should see the market find an area of resistance around this blue line up here. So things for the asx200 right now are looking fairly bullish, and there is a change in trend. But we do have to keep our eye on that bearish looking pattern that we've got there in the S&P 500, because if that pattern does play out as a head and shoulders topping formation, well, we would be seeing a rather large correction play out. But for now, guys, I think in the coming week, expect the 4,600 area to put up a fight as resistance. And I think early trade on Monday, just because of the lead out of Wall Street, we may come down and test that 4,530 area. And that is a rising level of support there also. We do have a lot of support areas there for the asx200. And I think things are looking fairly good at the moment. Like I said, just be very wary and just keep in the back of your mind about that pattern in the S&P 500. Feel free to pop past the website at aussie.chartttrends.com.au, and you can sign up there to the forum for free, and you can even put in your name and your email address there for the newsletter, and maybe you might find a good read there. Also, feel free to pop past the website at tradingforblondes.com.au. Usually my weekly update is posted on their website there, and you can also sign up to their email subscription there. You'll also find some really good reading material there, especially on options and individual stocks. So come check it out at stockmarketupdate.com.au and also at tradingforblondes.com.au. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a fresh daily market update.